Welcome to the Progressive Action TV show, and we are back. I know I took a couple of days off, a little busy, and I almost took the night off too because I am a little tired, but the work still has to get done. How you guys doing tonight? As you can see, the phone lines are open, 563-999-3714. You see, you could donate to the channel right above my head. $ Progressive Action 100. We got some things to talk about tonight. As y'all know, O.J. Simpson passed away. We're going to discuss some of that. We're going to discuss these MTA buildings falling down, cracked up, all types of stuff. We're going to discuss that. And we're also going to discuss the NYPD uniform issue. They're having a uniform issue. And of course, we're going to talk about the safety of New York City, right? And like I said, the phone lines are open. Now, I don't care which platform you're watching us on, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Please make sure that you share out these lives. They are very important. And before I start the show, let me put on this hat, just so we make it clear. Y'all see what it is. Y'all see what it is, man. Y'all know what team I'm on. You know, Kennedy for president 2024. Yeah, we got some things to discuss today, and we're going to discuss them as usual. So let me get straight into it. First thing, until the day comes, we're going to talk about the We Are Not Safe riding the MTA rally, safety rally, assault rally. It's going to be Wednesday, May 1st, 12 p.m. at 2 Broadway. Everyone is invited. Everyone. This is not only for transit workers. This is for people in the community. This is for riders. This is for all the groups that care, that say that they care about the transit system. Everyone is invited to come out. And if you're interested in speaking, contact me. You see our social media channels at the bottom. You see the Twitter. You see our email. You see our TikTok and our Instagram. Come join us, man. Come join us. This is going to be the perfect event to amplify your voices regarding safety in the transit system. And we're not new to this. We've done these rallies for years and years. And this may be our biggest rally yet. So we want you to come out, come get involved, and let your voice be heard. Now, the first topic that I would like to get into is, I know everyone probably done heard it by now. O.J. Simpson, NFL star whose murder trial gripped the nation, dies of cancer at 76 years old. Now, we are all familiar with O.J. Simpson. All familiar with O.J. Simpson, right? He was on trial back in the 90s for allegedly unaliving, as the young people say now, unaliving Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. In fact, before I even get into that, he was represented by Johnny Cochran. I think that's where Johnny Cochran finally broke through as far as like a celebrity lawyer is concerned, right? And he said these famous lines. I don't want to say it. I just want to play the clip so you guys could hear for yourself. This is history. Check it out.
Last night about this case and their theory and how it didn't make any sense and how it didn't fit and how something is wrong. It occurred to me how they were going to come here and stand up here and tell you how O.J. Simpson was going to disguise himself. Was going to put on a knit cap and some dark clothes, and he was going to get in his white Bronco and this recognizable person and go over and kill his wife. That's what they want you to believe. That's how silly their argument is. And I said to myself, maybe I can demonstrate this graphically. Let me show you something. This is a knit cap. I'm going to put this knit cap on. Now, you've been seeing me for a year. If I put this knit cap on, who am I? I'm still Johnny Cochran with a knit cap. And if you look at O.J. Simpson over there, and he has a rather large head, O.J. Simpson in a knit cap from 2 blocks away is still O.J. Simpson. It's no disguise. It's no disguise. It makes no sense. It doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. It reminded me that there was testimony early on that Detective Lang had refused basically to pick up a knit cap inside the Brown residence that was shown to him, I think, by some of the lawyers and one of the investigators on that date, because he's a fairly common. But they don't really disguise anybody who's noticeable, do they? And although I was the guinea pig here this afternoon, if you were to put a knit cap on, how's that going to disguise you? We've been together. I'd know your face anywhere now, and you'd know mine. And the people in Brentwood, in West Los Angeles, would know O.J. Simpson. They know his car. They know him. That's where he lives. Even the prosecutors say he's so famous that he can't go anywhere where he wouldn't be recognized.
Those famous lines were said, if it don't fit, acquit. We all remember those lines. It was, I don't even know what the word to describe it, but it was so perfect for him. He said, I woke up one day and I just thought to myself, O.J. Simpson with a knit hat on, it's got a rather big head, still is O.J. Simpson. I mean, I think that was like genius for him, the way he put it together, because that's what a lot of these arguments are for lawyers, is how you put it together, framing it for the jury and things of that nature. Now, I was in my teenagers at the time when OJ went through what he went through as far as the trial is concerned. And when they said these words right here, I'm going to let you know how I felt. Check it out.
Simpson, would you please stand and face the jury?
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Nicole Brown Simpson, a human being, as charged in Count 1 of the information. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Ronald Lyle Goldman, a human being, as charged in Count 2 of the information.
When those words was echoed through our TVs, we didn't have flat screen TVs at the time. I was living in the projects with my parents, right? Gunshots was going off on the roof. People were screaming in the street in joy that OJ beat the case. Now, during that time, Black people, I mean, that probably was the first time ever that I seen a whole bunch of unity of Black folks that was happy that a man beat a case, right? I mean, I was excited. But there was a part of America that was not excited that O.J. Simpson got off. They was upset. They was furious. People to this day still thinks that O.J. Simpson killed Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman, right? They still think to this day that he killed them. Ronald Goldman's parents still think that. A lot of people in America think that. But how come people decide to believe in the justice system when it benefits them, right? Do I think OJ did it? Nah, I don't think he did it. Do I think he knows who did it? Yeah. And allegedly, there was a lot of stories out there saying that his son has something to do with it, allegedly. But I'm interested to this day to find out who did it. So I'm hoping that OJ left something around, maybe like a secret memoir, a journal, or something of that nature that says who really, unalived those people. But OJ Simpson, very interesting character, as you guys know, died today. And y'all, want y'all to let me know, man. Call in live. Let me know, 563-999-3714. Let me know if you feel like OJ Simpson really did it. Let me know what's your thoughts, because I'm interested. This has always been an interesting topic for me, so I don't mind discussing it with you guys tonight. Now let's get into some news. What we here for? Let me fill y'all in with what's going on here in New York and beyond. Now we're going to start off with a bill passed in the Senate, and this should be very important to everyone, right? So Senate Bill 6635, workers' comp PTSD. First responders and police got PTSD covered as an occupational injury in 2017. Post-pandemic, we know that more workers deal with high stress and dangerous conditions. Not all injuries are physical, but all workers should get support for injuries they get on a job. I am 100% in support of this bill, and I'm going to do what I can do on my end to make sure that this is passed. And Kathy Hochul signs it, because especially being a transit worker, we deal with PTSD every single day, whether it's someone jumping in front of a train car, a worker getting assaulted, anything of that nature. We deal with PTSD every day. And a news article came out by the city talking about, as subway collisions rise, train operators are feeling the pain. And I don't think that, let me put that on the screen real quick. I don't think people really understand the magnitude of, especially what train operators face and see on a daily basis, especially when someone either falls in front of their train, get pushed in front of their train, or they come across someone unexpectedly on the right of way, and they have to, stop the train from hitting them. Sometimes they are successful, sometimes they are not. But this is an issue regarding PTSD, and especially, like I said, train operators, right? Now, MTA chairman Jano Lieber actually put a comment in the paper, which was very interesting. His comment was very interesting in the position that he took. Now, he said, Jano Lieber, MTA chairman and CEO, distinguished between those who enter the tracks voluntarily and those who are pushed, but acknowledged that train crew members have to deal with the psychological fallout of every collision on the tracks. This is what he says exactly. I don't want our workers to go through that. I don't want them to be attacked, Lieber told the city, but I also don't want them to have the traumatic experience. So let's respect folks who are doing public service and don't put them through that. Now, that's a very interesting comment coming from the MTA chairman when he's running a company that does the exact opposite of what he's stating here, right? We have PTSD ringing throughout the New York City transit system, right? When a worker experience a 12-9, and a 12-9 is basically, someone hit by the train, up under the train, struck by the train, whatever the case may be, the transit authority only want them to take, really, they want you to take no time off. Let's start there. They want you to take no time off. But they give you 3 days. Now, the issue with the 3 days is that they don't tell you when you first come to this job, and I want people to pay attention who is looking to be a train operator, conductor of anything of that magnitude with New York City Transit. When someone jumps in front of your train, falls in front of your train, get pushed in front of your train, you have to go down there and see did they survive or not. You're basically going to see a mangled, chopped up body, probably brains everywhere, guts everywhere, legs cut off, arms cut off, whatever you may experience down there. The MTA does not acknowledge that, because when you try to go out on workers' comp because of PTSD, they more times than not deny your workers' comp. This is a fact. This is not an opinion. This is a fact. All of those cases should be approved 1000%. Because the truth is, when you fill out for that MTA job, especially train operator or conductor, nowhere in the description of that application does it say that if someone jumps in front of your train, that you may encounter a mangled body, a dead body, or whatever the case is. This is the same stuff that people see in wars. Everyone is not built for that. Yeah, I had supervisors who claim that, yeah, you know, I had a 12-9 and I was back to work the next day. Well, everybody is not built like that. I know for a fact I did not come on this job to see a mangled, crushed up body with brains and guts and everything everywhere all over the place. I did not sign up for that. And the MTA is not being honest about the real job description down here, and they are not being honest with how they treat workers once they experience something like this. Some people never mentally recover off of something like this. So now picture you experience this, you go fill out workers' comp, the MTA deny you your workers' comp, which means that you stop getting paid. You're mentally not ready to come back, but then you come back because you have to pay your rent. You have to take care of your children, your family. You have to put food on the table. You have to, do what you got to do to be an adult. The MTA do not care. They do not care at all. There's a big leadership problem, an ethics problem, and a corporate accountability problem in MTA. And I can't wait to, I need y'all to give me, I think like 5 more weeks. Give me 5 more weeks and I'm gonna fully discuss what I mean by that: leadership, ethics, and corporate accountability. We're gonna discuss that, right? But they have a problem on all 3 of those levels. And I'm talking about executive leadership. Those guys, they do not have a clue as to what they are doing. And let me tell you something. It's a double-edged sword, because you have some people in upper management who actually came through the ranks and became, executive bosses. And it's like they forget where they came from. They don't understand where they came from. And they also don't understand that things have changed, right? And then you have people who never worked the job, who never came through the ranks, and they just do not understand the job outside of paper, right? And everyone knows that there's a paper way that you do things, what they call that a rule book way that you do things, and there's the way that you do things in the field that actually happens. And the supervisors do not follow the rule book all the times. The workers do not follow the rule book all the time, because the truth is, if you follow the rule book by the letter, this system would not be running the way that they want it to be running. So they would turn their head to make the system run the way they want it to run until something happens. Then they want to throw the book at you. This place is totally insane. Totally insane. I just want to remind you guys, the phone lines are open, 563-999-3714. So speaking about, leadership, ethics, and corporate accountability, I want to point out a good thing regarding the MTA. And I want to say the MTA regarding one manager who's taken the initiative to do something to bring up morale, to show that it's not about discipline all the time and that we should value each other. And I just want to pull up this event and put it on the screen. That says Stillwell Terminal Special Events Crew. And I'm going to just roll through these pictures real quick, and I'm going to explain exactly what it is in a second. You see, shout out to train operator Durant. I don't know who the other person is in that picture, but you see all the food there on a random day, put together by a superintendent. You see all the food there. I see my boy there serving food. I forget his name, but he's a good guy. A lot of good people in this picture. In fact, let me play the video associated with this so you guys can check it out.
Good afternoon, Stillwell Terminal, building bridges, management, supervision, hourlies. We all rocking together over some food, asking and answering questions, building up camaraderie. Great event, man. Looking forward to growing it, having more and more people participate. At the end of the day, we all on the same team, no matter what position we hold down here. And that's what's most important. All right, have a good day.
Now that's a manager named Akito Staccato saying that we are all on the same team, and he's 100% right. That's how it should be. But the culture in New York City Transit is that we are not on the same team. Or we're on the same team until you make a mistake, and then I'm gonna show you that you're my enemy. That is the MTA way about doing things. They are not about, they have absolutely no ethics in the New York City Transit Authority. And I could actually do probably a year worth of shows speaking about that alone. Let me get to the let me post the picture to show you exactly what he had to say about it. So he says, Stillwell Terminal, building bridges. Things are hard down here, but we are all on the same team. An event to bring us together. I really have to thank supervision, hourly superintendents, Ms. Parker, and everyone who chipped in to make this work. Increased morale and a sense of appreciation leads to positive increases in everything. And he is 100% right. And let me put the picture of him. Superintendent Staccato is on the right. Superintendent Parker is on the left. She's a general. I believe Staccato is a deputy, I believe. And I want to say something about, that, right? It's a lot of things that y'all don't know about how the MTA functions. And Staccato is a friend of mine's. He's a friend of a lot of people, hourlies in transit, right? He's a good guy, He goes out of his way to help members. He does not try to go by the big stick management thing of discipline over everything. And by him advocating for workers and wanting to do what's right, he has been harmed in many ways. A lot of people, when he got shipped to Staten Island, people was like, yo, where's Staccato? Where's this and that? Many hardships, denied promotions, all types of stuff. All because he wanted to do things like what he was doing right here, right? Because the truth is, upper management do not support this. The management that's in 2 Broadway, they do not support this. Now, what they're going to do, right, since they seen that it was a success, they're going to now try to replicate this to put themselves in good faith of the employees or whatever the case is. Why haven't y'all been doing this? Why y'all not doing this on a regular? Transit workers sacrifice so much, and they say it themselves. Transit workers sacrifice this, they sacrifice that, they sacrifice this. But they never do nothing to show their appreciation for us. I don't want to hear, you get a paycheck. People work for those paychecks. Y'all do absolutely nothing to really show that you appreciate those workers. Oh, you made good announcements. Ooh. Yeah, okay. Like, this company is off the chain. And just to show you guys how diabolical they are at times, everyone knows that the Muslim EID happened yesterday. The MTA denied Muslim bus drivers the day off for EID. And they was like, they're going to walk off the job in honor of their religion. Now, there were plenty of ways for the MTA to rectify this, right? There's plenty of ways for this company to rectify this. For one, they could have said, look, we can't give you a paid day, but if you want to use any of your accrued time outside of sick to go respect your religion, you could do it. One day, go handle their business. But this company does not care. They are all over the place. All over the place. Right? I'm telling you, they have no moral compass. Their ethics is non-existent. And they do not, you're literally like a number to them. Just like how when you go upstate to prison and they don't call you by your last name or your first name, they say inmate, blah, 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 and read off the number. That's what we are to them. We are nothing but a pass number to these people. Nothing more, Nothing less. Nothing more, nothing less. Now I want to get into let me see what this is right here. And yeah, nothing more, nothing less. But to talk about, you have the poor morale that management creates the poor morale in New York City Transit, along with our union who's in bed with management. This is a fact, right? Another thing that drives down morale are incidences like this. Stranger stabbed 60-year-old man in head with screwdriver on New York City bus over playing drums on his lap, right? The violence in the subway system, on the buses, and the transit system in general does not help morale at all, right? In fact, let me get to the video associated with this incident. Check it out.
Oh, that's annoying. You heard what I said. That's annoying, right? It caught me in my head.
Derek Gardner's back home in the Bronx after being stabbed with a screwdriver on the bus.
In the bus stop, next thing you know, that's when he started attacking me with that screwdriver.
He was on the BX22 in Fordham Center Monday afternoon going shopping. The 60-year-old says a man sitting next to him was annoyed that he was humming and tapping the seat.
Yeah, I was humming the church song.
The irate passenger plunging the sharp tool into the top of his head and then bolted.
A lot of women on the bus, they came and helped me and all like that, and I was grateful for it.
Ina Percival was working along East Fordham Road when she saw the commotion.
Everyone started coming out of the bus and they were screaming that something happened. I just see the guy bleeding and I come back to the store, grab some papers and bring them to them so they can put it on his head.
He was rushed to the hospital where doctors patched him up with 2 staples. The native New Yorker has taken the bus all his life and says he won't stop now. Gardner has this message to anyone who does the same.
Watch your back, and all like that. Be safe, and God bless.
That's insane, the amount of violence that's happening on New York City Transit property every single day, and that does not help out morale at all. I mean, another incident, subway rider stabbed in back on Manhattan E train, right? We have another incident of a stabbing today on a New York City Transit bus that didn't get no media coverage. And this bus operator said, to all my bus operators, please be safe and vigilant. Well, yes, it happened yesterday. Yesterday on the Q53 SBS, a customer got stabbed on my bus. It was absolute chaos. Worst work day of my career. Please be safe out there. Look at that. Look at that. Like, the transit authority is not factoring in the role that violence plays with morale, because the transit authority do not have a pulse when it comes to ethics. They are literally dead in the ethics department. The MTA ethics is in the mortuary. That's where they at. And then one thing they want to do is something like this. And this came from the vice president on the union side of the buses in Manhattan and the Bronx, Donald Yates. He said MTA reveals plan to put 100 live feed cameras on MTA buses to get crime under control. Local 100 members are required to be protected under the Workplace Violence and Protection Law. Will this help? Hopefully. I mean, once again, I just don't understand the mentality of some of these reps, especially at the level that they on. So you mean to tell me that the MTA is going to hire someone to watch a live feed of cameras of hundreds of buses moving at the same time and actually could spot what's going on those buses in real time, watching hundreds of cameras at a time? No, that's not what it's for. Those cameras are going to be used to discipline workers more than fighting any type of crime. And for him to even ask, hopefully, is that what these live feed cameras is going to be used for, is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's I just don't understand the mentality of what they thinking at some of these times. Now, I know y'all don't see me do this often. I know y'all do not see me do this often. Let me prep y'all. Take a deep breath. But before I do that, make sure that you share out this live. Remind you again, the phone lines are open 563-999-3714, and you can donate via Progressive Action 100 on Cash App, right? I know y'all don't see me do this often, but I want to give the union props for a program that has been intact since the Roger Toussaint era. So we're not going to give the new administration or the Stand United administration any type of praise in this. This was something that Roger Toussaint instituted. In fact, the Stand United, aka Members First administration, dwindled the program, but I don't want to focus on that. We'll touch on that on another show. But this is something good that I support, right? We did it. 19 graduates of our apprenticeship program celebrate their career paths at the Apex Technical School as we build the middle class, the Union Way, Central, whatever they did the tags or whatever the case is. And let me put up the next post because I think that this was dope. Little Prince Miller, 6 years old, held by CED Vice President Shirley Martin as he waits to see his mom, Aisha Center. She's in the center. Graduate from our electrical apprenticeship program, Mom Beverly at Wright. We are making it possible for cleaners to advance to the trades. In the picture, you have the two graduates, the baby and the Vice President of car equipment, Sister Shirley Martin. And that's great. That is 100% great. I have no problems with that. I mean, you if you're ambitious enough, you come in being a cleaner, traffic checker, one of the low wage titles. And for me, one of the titles that the Transit Authority two of the titles the Transit Authority really don't care about. And like I said, it's I'm gonna talk about the cleaners alone. Once again, this is my rallying cry. The cleaners start at 60% of their top pay. The only title in transit we talking about amongst 50-something titles, the only title in transit that start at an inferior wage progression, and it's due because it's history. The only job that Black people could have gotten when the MTA was formed, and we're not talking about long ago. We talking about 60s, 70s. Was that of a porter. It was called a porter at the time, cleaner porter. And the remnants of that discrimination, of that racism is still etched in our contracts because cleaners are the only title that start at an inferior wage progression in New York City Transit, right? But now the greatness of this program, once again, started by Roger Toussaint, is that it allows people who start at those titles, if they're ambitious enough, if they want to advance their career, create better lives for themselves and their families and their kids and things of that nature. The program is there to help them go through school, become an apprentice. The MTA automatically fill the positions with them once they graduate, and their life takes off from there. So I am 100% in agreement with that. Now, I'm glad that they creating all these apprenticeship programs and all of these maintenance away titles, which is great because the MTA buildings are falling apart all over the place, right? And the MTA don't care. Once again, this is another thing that creates a bad morale for everyone, all the workers involved, right? Check this out. Just check out this video. It's only 5 seconds long. That video is from East New York Depot, the same depot that had the fire suppression issue problem, which the MTA do not care about. Because let me tell you about the MTA and the people who make decisions for the MTA. They work at 2 Broadway. 2 Broadway building is pristine on all levels. Security, bathrooms, cleanliness, the air quality, the water, everything is great at 2 Broadway. And the people who make the decisions and supposed to make sure that at least our working conditions are respectable, they don't care because they don't live in it. They don't work in it, right? They don't see it every day. They don't care. Out of sight, out of mind. That saying is true, right? That saying is true. Out of sight, out of mind. They don't care. That's why when they talk about safety and being safe, they can say whatever they want. They're in a building, a very secure building. Even when they interact with the public in that building, you have a squadron of police downstairs. You have K9s, you have metal detectors. Why y'all afraid to talk to the same people that ride the system with us every day? Why is that? Why is that? Makes absolutely no sense, right? But they don't care if we work in deplorable conditions. It is not a concern of theirs at all. It is not a concern of theirs. Let me play this other video of this, and this is only a few seconds long. And whoever's making these videos, can you do me a favor? Can you make them at least 60 seconds long? Walk around, show more of what's going on. I don't know who making these videos is coming from, and an unnamed account on Twitter. And I get tagged in them, I see them, I get them. But can you please make these videos longer? But let me play this next video. People got a bucket hanging from the ceiling. A bucket hanging from the ceiling in East New York Depot. Now, I have my thoughts of why they letting that depot fall apart. And not caring about those bus operators, everything regarding that. You can look at the demographics of the people that work in that depot, from the actual operators and cleaners to the management. You could look at the lines that bus route serve, and everything points back to, guess what? Them not caring about the workers, and being that it's more Black people that work there than anything, they definitely do not care. This is a fact. I want to play those videos again for you guys. Check it out. Crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. Let me play that next one. Crazy, 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 crazy. Insane. Insane. Right? So let me get on to the next thing, because this right here is going to be very interesting to you guys, and it has everything to do with standing up for the contract, right? Standing up for the contract, knowing what you're worth, the game that the MTA plays. And I don't even think that they play too much of a game. But what I'm going to say is that as far as what the union accountability is regarding these situations, I just don't think that our union leadership for the past decade plus was too smart. They are in bed with management. There's no other way to put it. And now we're starting to see what's really going on. Before I continue, I would like to ask you guys, can you please, especially the people that's watching on YouTube, can you please subscribe to the channel? Can you please hit the subscription button? That's very important. Subscribe to the channel. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this article right here, because it says a lot, and it shows you how weak our union administration is when it comes to contracts. And it's not even all about them being weak, but it's a lot about them being sellouts, right? It's a lot about them being sellouts. They are sellouts. So the issue, or the story in this paper, is cracks in Long Island Railroad unions. Now, for the people who don't know, there's not one union that represents Long Island Railroad workers. You have a union for the engineers, you have a union for the conductors, you have a union for almost every title in Long Island Railroad, right? And for me, that's the way to negotiate, because if not, then you have what you got going on in Local 100 between Local 100 and New York City Transit. And what I mean by that is, think of a title like a station agent compared to a title like a train operator. Their jobs are not really that similar. So our needs, a train operator needs does not meet the needs of a station agent and vice versa. So the MTA was smart enough to know that if they play us against the needs of each other, let me take this off the screen. I'll put it back up. If they play us against our needs, then what will happen is what happens every contract with our union administration. They will have one department sold out for another, right? And that's exactly what happens in during our contractual negotiations. You will have buses getting everything and RTO getting nothing, or it's never vice versa. It's never vice versa. It's always that. Or you'll get MOW getting something that no other departments get. It's never vice versa. We don't have the type of leadership that want to make sure everyone gets their just due. No, when they get in those rooms and those doors close, somebody's getting sold out. Someone is getting sold out. Bottom line, and that's just the way it is. There's no other way to try to fix this up. That's just the way it is. Someone is getting sold out, right? So we are the fools, because let me go back to the article. Long Island Railroad is taking a stand. They're taking a stand, right? And I'm not going to read this whole thing, but if you guys can see regarding the pattern, bargaining, decried. Now, I need for y'all to see me on this one. We gotta really explain this. I need for you guys to understand this. How does pattern bargaining work inside the MTA, right? So Local 100 has we are the biggest union within the MTA, right? And I'm talking about Long Island Railroad, Metro North, ATU. We are the biggest. So we negotiate first. And we normally set the patterns for all the other unions, right? So basically, whatever we accept, every other union within the MTA must accept. And that includes the supervisors also. That includes the supervisors also, right? So instead of our union leadership collaborating with ATU, collaborating with the supervisors, collaborating with the Long Island Railroad unions, what they do is they say, F you, this last contract, or probably for like the past 5 years, they started a war with Mike Karube and the SSSA, uncalled for, right? Instead of us sticking together and being a movement, being a labor movement, because it's not all about Local 100. It's about us as a labor movement, especially the unions that work up under the MTA, right? That's how it should be. But we don't have that type of mature, intelligent, logical leadership in Local 100 to see it that way. So, and then on top of that, the union leadership, they get their patterns from, or they claim they get the patterns from like DC 37 or whatever the case is. They try to substantiate their numbers with other unions to say, hey, we took this is the pattern, we took it because they took that, right? That's not how it works, right? Pattern bargaining is only supposed to be in a pattern with people in your same industry, right? That's how it's supposed to work. How can you compare transit workers to DC 37? How can you do that? It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. It makes no sense whatsoever, right? But they play the pattern bargaining game to substantiate them selling us out and to substantiate how they wasn't tough enough, organized, and mobilized enough to fight back against the MTA. So now let me get back to that article, right? So pattern bargaining decried. But other Long Island Railroad unions, which previously negotiated alongside SMART, which is the unions that's fighting back against the MTA right now, have broken with Simon's union, wanting more favorable terms and disagreeing that Long Island Railroad workers should follow the precedent set by city bus and subway workers under what's known as pattern bargaining. In September, 5 Long Island Railroad unions, including those representing locomotive engineers, electricians, and signal workers, formed what they called the Long Island Railroad faction, has pointed to higher wage increases achieved by unions representing workers at other railroads throughout the United States. That's how you do it, people, including Amtrak, as evidence that they deserve more than 9.5% an increase over 3 years. All we were saying was, you can negotiate, but we're done with this pattern bargaining. It works for you. It works for nobody else. Ricardo Sanchez, General Chairman of the IBE, Electrical Workers Union 589, which represents Long Island Railroad electricians, said in the interview, we're done with it. That reign of pattern bargaining is over, but it took over 30 years. Sanchez also noted that some of the union work rules that SMART historically has prioritized, including those governing overtime, are less valuable to other unions. Long Island Railroad management and federal mediators have declined to recognize the pattern unions as a coalition. In an October letter to the unions, Long Island Railroad Deputy Chief Labor Relations Officer Kelly Coughlin said the railroad is not required to participate in such joint bargaining. We are eager and remain prepared to engage separately with each of your organizations. Now, that is a very, very bold move. That is a bold move. And that's what it should be. They are saying that, look, you're not going to pattern bargain us with New York City subway and bus workers. What they really want to say is because you sold your members out, but you should be pattern bargaining us with Amtrak. And that's a fact. That is a fact, right? They should be pattern bargaining with people who's more aligned with the work what they do. Now, Long Island Railroad is more aligned with the work what they do with Amtrak versus New York City Transit, right? We have a lot of similarities, right? But they are right. And we should be pattern bargaining with we should have a similar pattern bargaining with them, but not with teachers and other people in DC 37. That makes absolutely no sense. And another thing that the trickery that the union administration tries to do is that they say, well, Long Island Railroad got 3%, so we got 3%. Once again, people, and I want to make this clear once again, 3% of $100,000 is not the same of 3% of $75,000. I mean, I've explained this on a show for you guys before. It is not the same. So I don't even understand how they can compare our 3% to Long Island Railroad's 3%. It makes absolutely no sense. So if Long Island Railroad gets 3%, then guess what? We should be getting 4.5 because it should be matched with their dollars, with them dollar for dollar, not percentage by percentage. That's how they fool us. That's how they scam us. That's how they get away with everything that they're getting away with, because we just fall for it all the time. All the time we fall for this trickery, and it makes absolutely no sense. None. I want to see something real quick. I want to see if I'm gonna send these videos in. Let me edit this real quick. But yeah, it makes absolutely no sense what they're doing. I forgot to put this on the show, but I think that is worth discussing. So I just want to make sure that I get this right for you guys. I want to make sure I get this right for you guys, because I think that it's very, very important that we discuss this. Let me get this up there. It'll take me some time to get it up, but we go keep the show moving. Like I said, if somebody want to call in, 563-999-3714. What I would like for you guys also to do, especially everyone watching on YouTube, can you please subscribe to the channel, Let me see what's going on over there. Let me see what's happening over there. All right, I see people subscribing. But yeah, please subscribe to the channel. But yeah, these people are off the chain. They are off the chain. They fooled us with this pattern bargaining thing at every turn. Every turn they fooled us with this pattern bargaining thing. And I'm happy that Long Island Railroad is standing up for themselves, because if they wasn't, we would never really see the true difference with the negotiation tactics. And I've been telling you guys this for a very, 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 very long time. Moving along, getting into some more news. This is foolishness right here. Let me put this on the screen. It's dealing with NYPD. NYPD to crack down on sloppy cops with ban on shorts, white turtlenecks, and cargo pants. NYPD, why are you guys doing this? Let me put the next screenshot up. I mean, look, I see absolutely no problem with this. Let me read what it says. They're real fashion police. Fed up sloppy cops, the NYPD has moved to update its dress code, banning shorts on transit beats and white turtlenecks while on patrol. The department's updated style guide, set to take effect next month, also instructs patrol officers not to wear tactical cargo pants and reinforces longstanding guidance, including a ban on shoelaces that are not black. I can see that, right? But come on, no cargo pants, no shorts. Do they understand how hot it is in the subway system in the summertime? Do they understand that? I don't think that they understand that right there. Like that is insane to me that they are actually thinking about doing this. And I want to show you guys what the union president for the PBA said. Patrick Hendry, president of the PBA, vowed to file a legal challenge to the new rules, predicting they would drive officers out of the force. The department's timing and handling of these changes is completely off, he said in a statement. The NYPD has much bigger problems to address. We are still understaffed by thousands and losing hundreds of cops every month. I agree. Well, but one thing that he's not saying is that these cops who cannot wear cargo pants, shorts, and all that other stuff is not only going to drive them out of the force, the ones who remain to say is going to make them disgruntled. And guess who they're going to take it out on? Yes, you guessed right. They're going to be upset. They're going to take it out on the people. And I don't understand, like, what is the big problem? Cargo pants? All the issues that we have going on in the subway system, and the PBA president is right. Staffing, they saying staffing is the major issue in the police department. Why are we focusing on that? I mean, it makes no sense why they are focusing on the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? They're focusing on the wrong thing. Hold on one second, people. Let me upload this video. Let me get those videos for y'all, because I think it's very important that I pull these into play for you guys. And it's regarding some videos that I didn't really agree with the transit system, but you know, it is what it is. The union falling in line. It's all smoke screen and mirrors with these people, and they don't care. They don't care. But yeah, it's gonna take me a few minutes to get this up. But while we waiting, I want to finish discussing that. Matter of fact, we got a caller on the line. Let me get that caller going. Caller 6483. You're now live on Progressive Action TV. What's going on? How you doing, sir?
How you doing, Jamal? It's Garcia. Just have to chime in, and I have one question for you.
Absolutely.
All the people I grew up with that were native New Yorkers,
Uh-huh.
they're no longer in New York. They all have left, and they're like, they gone. They don't want to deal with it. We're here, and we still see people just on a mass exodus. And millionaires and people from out of town are just moving in like crazy. I want to know what's going on. Why are so many people leaving? And also MTA, why are so many people retiring? They're not even putting in the extra day. They're trying to get out. Just like the NYPD is trying to get out, where MTA workers are trying to get out. Native New Yorkers are trying to get out of this place. What's going on? That's my question.
Well, there's many problems. We had the pandemic, right? A lot of people was threatened with their jobs that if they didn't get this, they're going to get fired. We have crime. We have cost of living. New York City is becoming a city only for rich people, right? And the hits just keep coming. You have subway fares going up. You have congestion pricing. You could point to many factors as to why people are leaving, right? Why do you think why do you think people leaving?
The tickets, the tolls, the lack of opportunity, the prices of rent are out of control. You know, if you can go to the worst neighborhood and they want $3,000, $2,500 without utilities included, the cost of living is out of control. And for you to pay those bills, you got to work more and more every day, and you're being exploited and work harder. And it's out
Mm-hmm. I thought that.
Like I have friends that live in other states and they get a big house and they got a lot more property. Now it's spreading to those areas, the high prices, but they have a lot more property and they get a lot more out of bang for their buck. And the schools are running better, more space, more open air, and jobs that treat you a lot better. So it's like everyone keeps saying, "Oh, transit workers make this much," but then the amount of taxes they take out of your check, the amount of deductions you get is like you're just being, how can I say? You're just being knocked to the ground, and to make up those bills is becoming very impossible. Like,
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that transit workers are making enough to survive in the city?
Definitely not. Definitely not. They're not. We're not. We're struggling in this city because the more money you make, then what happens is that when they file taxes, they say you make too much, and then they take more money out. So they hit you with the highest tax rate because they say you make too much. So then at the same time, you're paying for all these benefits that you need, like disability, that's not included. In some other jobs, that's included. Life insurance is not included. Most jobs, life insurance is included. A lot of the stuff that are not included as part of our employment are included in other employment. And the main argument people tell me is that I should just get another job, and as if it's that easy. I think there's a great disparity between the corporate world and the civil service world. We can see the differences in how the corporate world and the corporate mentality, they give more opportunities to certain people other than other people. Some people are working remotely, working from home, and they're making more money than we're making because they're not spending as much money on expenses, on commuting, on getting to work, on gas, and also on the strict rules that we have to face, not being able to have days off. And a lot of the millennials rather just take a more flexible job that pays them a little bit less, but they take out less taxes, and they have the flexibility of having days off with their family and spending time in activities they want to enjoy. Let
me ask you a question to switch gears. Let me ask you a question to switch gears though.
Sure.
You think OJ did it?
That was always a controversial, and they always had doubt in my mind, about what transpired. But I can say that the justice system in this country is not a fair justice system. As much as we want to say it's fair, we all know that the corporate world gets away with a lot of crime, but a minority can't get away with the most minimum crime without having the book thrown at him. So I think that he had money, but he was still a minority, and it's been proven through the boldest study. It's a big study that was made that proved that in criminal justice, which is one of the areas I study, was that with the boldest study, there was people that were African American or minorities had higher chances of being convicted, and also had a higher chance of getting the death penalty than any other race. So his chances in the criminal justice system were very low. And for a jury to be convinced that he didn't do it, I think was very unlikely. Very unlikely. I watched the trial growing up. And I think they did a good job defending him, but they didn't have the proof to convict him. Do I think that maybe he might have known who did it? I think it was possible that he might have known who did it or what was in play behind the scenes, but he never spoke about it or wasn't allowed to speak about it because something would have happened to him. That's just my take on it.
I agree, and think
that it was something bigger. It was something bigger than himself, I think. And a lot of people with money, a lot of times it's bigger stuff than themselves. That's why nobody has come out to defend P. Diddy or to defend Kanye West or to defend all these other people that have messed up in the world of the rich. Nobody has come out to defend them and to stand up for them because they know that once they do that, they also will be targeted and they will no longer be rich. So I think that there was more to it than what we know about it in public. That's my take. And it has to do with all of us because when those riots happened in LA, there were almost riots in New York too. When and I remember people being happy about him being not convicted, but also some people were angry about him not being convicted. So it was a split population. And people are still split to this day. And then nobody wants to acknowledge the majority of people that are in jail are minorities. And the minorities get a short end of the stick in this country. And I'm sorry I got to speak my mind, but that's the reality. People could deny it and say there's no such thing as racism. There's no such thing that we should all be colorblind. And we are. We try to be colorblind. But it's kind of hard when we get discriminated against or when we be mistreated by the police or by, the not being able to afford an expensive lawyer. So it's a little bit of everything, but we also have to acknowledge that the system is not fair.
I agree.
And not everyone gets the same amount of treatment. That everyone doesn't get the same amount of treatment. And I think he had the cards stacked against him, even though he had money, because there's a lot of celebrities that, even with their money, haven't been able to beat any charges at all. They've been convicted, and the list piles on that they've still been convicted. So I think his lawyers were masterful, but at the same time, if the glove does not fit, you cannot convict.
All right, thank you. Thanks for calling in. I like to leave it right there. That's perfect. Thanks for calling in, my brother.
Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Yeah. That was Celso, loyal caller to the show. I want to know. Y'all call in. I want to know how y'all feel about O.J. Simpson. He died today, just in case he was under the rock, 76 years old. Died of cancer. He obviously was very sick. I seen him on camera and it made sure it is what it is. I'm thinking that he's thriving, but he was actually, really sick. But let me continue on, because I'm gonna come back to the OJ stuff. I want to talk about that. I want to play that video again, but I want to finish up the main ingredients for the show. I want to talk about, NYPD. We was just talking about, they want to crack down on the uniforms, and the PBA president was like, it's going to deter people from coming to the job and things of that nature. I hear that. I hear all that. But they not going to talk about how it's going to mess up their morale and let them take their anger out on other people. Now, these are officers with the most substantiated allegations in the CCRB. We got 60 substantiated allegations. Now, I want to be clear about what the CCRB does. They basically report police misconduct. This is basically a write-up. So picture, what other job in America besides a police officer where you could have 60 substantiated write-ups, 27 substantiated write-ups, 21 substantiated, 21, 19, 19. Where else can you work and have that amount of substantiated allegations? And not only that, what communities are they in? 71st precinct? That's a black community. 77th precinct? It's a black community. Why do they have, and then you got 3 officers. What is it? You see, 2 officers with the most substantiated allegations in the NYPD from the same precinct, right? Let me ask you guys a real question. Because sometimes you got to put it in certain terms for people to understand. Would you want a pilot flying your plane with 60 write-ups, all regarding misconduct of their job? Would you want a pilot with 60 write-ups? Would you want a doctor with 27 substantiated write-ups of misconduct regarding their job? Would you? Would you want that? I don't think so. So why would you be okay with police officers with 60 write-ups, 27 write-ups, and all these different write-ups patrolling your community? You wouldn't eat at a restaurant that has 60 write-ups from the Board of Health, but you would condone a police officer with 60 write-ups regarding public safety. Makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. No sense whatsoever. So look, now I got the videos pulled up. Before I get back to the OJ stuff, I have the videos pulled up regarding the transit thing. And I just want to point out a couple of things. I hope I got them labeled right. Or if not, I will explain it. But let me play the first video. And I think let me play the first video from Critchlow, because I think he set it off. So check it out.
Didn't mention the fact that we don't feel that being out and providing customer service is against the safety of our workers. Customer service, safety of our workers is a primary thing that we're focused on. So we've done a great job of trying to work with our partners in the TWU to make sure that we provide employees with a safe work environment that they could do so safely. So happy to be able to announce.
Respectfully, I think that is hyperbole. It's flat out lying. There's no way possible that customer service and safety of the workers, they are in line with that. And I'm gonna bring up a simple argument for that. When there are sexual assaults that's happening in the subway system, why isn't the MTA alerting at the least the workers in that area of the crime that happened within that area? And it don't even have to be sexual assault. It could be a robbery. Why aren't they, before we go out on our tour, the same way how police officers are debriefed during roll call, why aren't we debriefed about the incidences that happened on our tour within the past 72 hours? Right? Why isn't there a bulletin up or some type of one-sheeter that tells us of the recent crimes that's happening in our area to be alert and vigilant. Isn't the MTA motto, if you see something, say something? But they don't practice that. So there's no way possible. And the guy that was talking is Demetrius Critchlow, who's the senior vice president of Subways. Critchlow, if you are saying that that is true, why aren't you guys alerting us of the crimes that's happening within at least the past 72 hours with a one-sheeter to give into every station agent, or make sure that it's put in the booth of every booth, and we are aware of what's going on in the system? Why are workers constantly working in the dark when it comes to safety? So yes, you're not telling the truth or being 100% truthful when you say that you care about the workers' safety. That is a fact. Let me get to the next video, and this is of the union president. Let me take that back. This is of Robert Kelly, the vice president for the stations department.
Announce Robert Kelly from the TWU, who's going to say a few words as well.
So, good morning, good morning. So this is a great day. This is a bragging right day, if you will. I said a year ago that we had the best, most resilient workforce in the country. And today that holds true. As you see our workforce behind me. Look, I can't say enough about the great work that our brothers and sisters of TW Local 100 are doing. And to tell you the truth, I'm not surprised. I am excited, I am happy, and I'm in a good place right now because I know they deserve this day. We have quite a few thousand of agents that are all providing customer service to the highest level imaginable. They do it day in and day out. They come out here every day and they risk themselves. There's no question about it. It's the course of doing business. But let me make this perfectly, unequivocally clear. We are the best of the best, and we will continue to provide the courteous customer service that this city deserves. Thank you. Oh, so let me introduce to you Mr. Nelson Chang. He'll say a few words, phenomenal agent. Mr. Chang.
The vice president of the stations department said that the workers risk themselves because it's the cost of doing business. Do you guys hear how egregious that statement is? They risk themselves because it's the cost of doing business. He didn't say in that clip, there's another clip where he brought it up after the station agent actually made it clear. But the vice president of that department is basically saying that you risking your life is the cost of doing business. Kelly, we are not police officers. We are not firefighters. We are not correction officers. We are not business. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And let me tell you something. As a person, I like Kelly. I like him. In fact, I like a lot of these guys. But as leaders, as fighters, as organizing and mobilizers, I do not like them. I do not like them. They say the wrong thing almost at every chance they get. Risking ourselves is the cost of doing business. What are you talking about? That's not the cost of doing business. It's the cost of y'all doing business. You want to know why? Because y'all in bed with management. Y'all in bed with management via gain sharing, via employee availability. So that's the cost of doing business. But the workers that's out there in the field, safety being risked is not the cost of doing business. What are these guys talking about? Let me get to the next clip.
Who's Matthew Patrick? I just said Mario Rivera today. He's going to close this out.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Matthew Patrick. I am a customer service ambassador for the station department. They tell me that means I'm one of the great station agents that they have here. I've been a station agent for 2 years. My first year I've been in the booth, the second year obviously outside. A year ago they asked me, how would you feel about coming outside the booth? And I said, let me out. Get me out of there. I want out. I don't feel like you can give exceptional customer service from behind the glass. A year later, they asked me how do I feel to be outside of the booth. And I love it. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy being outside the booth. I enjoy interacting with the customers. I like making my customer service experience more personal with each and every customer that I get in contact with. And I just hope to keep it up with my fellow coworkers and transit. I know that there's a lot going on, but I'm pretty sure that our safety outside the booth is paramount with transit, and they're going to continue to do what they do. I'm going to continue to do what I do, and that's it. You guys have a wonderful day.
Y'all see who brought up the safety? The person who brought up the safety was the station agent. He brought up the safety situation before the vice president brought up the safety situation. Do you guys see how crazy that is? The vice president saying is that the safety is basically risking ourselves is the cost of doing business, but the station agent is bringing up the actual safety, and he understands. Yes, you want to know what? Some people do not like being inside a booth, and some people did like leaving the booth and having the option to, walk around, stretch their legs, and not be in this fish bowl all the time. I get that. I get that, right? But what I'm saying is there needs to be clear guidance on if there's crime, there's people on the loose that the NYPD is looking for, there's an immediate danger within a certain radius where these station agents are. I believe that this needs to be figured out a little more on the union side. You cannot say that it's the cost of doing business, our safety. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? How does that even make any sense? How is that even right? Station agents, do y'all agree with your vice president saying that? Does that make sense to you guys? It doesn't make any sense to me. And Kelly, you come on, man. And I get it. I get it. You went from being a cleaner to the vice president. You're in a position where you probably never seen yourself in a million years being. And what I see for you, to be honest, I look at you as a manager. I don't look at you as a union rep. The things that you have been saying, the way you've been carrying yourself, you haven't been carrying yourself as someone who's there for the members. You've been saying the things that resembles management. You're basically saying the things that they know they're smart enough not to say, but you're the union guy and you're saying, yeah, risking your safety is the cost of doing business. You heard that from a movie or something and decided to reiterate it? Like, this is what I mean. Like, with these guys, they put on these suits. It makes them, because even when I put on a suit, I feel good. So they put on these suits, they feel good, and they get in front of these cameras, they misrepresent us at every turn. Richard Davis, Richard Davis, Robert Kelly, and who else is out in the front nowadays saying all the wrong things? They got a fetish for saying the wrong things around here, people. They have a fetish for saying the wrong things around here. And I wish they turn it around. But this thing is not going to be turned around until we get a whole new ideology here, a whole new way of fighting, a new way to organize and mobilize, because this is not it. This is not it. We're seeing it. I covered it on the show. We see it with what you call that, what the Long Island Railroad is doing, them fighting against pattern bargaining. They fighting against pattern bargaining. Our union embraces it. Our union sets the bad patterns for ATU, for SSSA, for everyone who negotiates up under that, for Long Island Railroad, Metro North. Our union sets the bad pattern for everyone inside this organization. And guess what? ATU is not holding Local 100 accountable, right? Long Island Railroad, Simon, the president over there, is in line with Local 100. So they both with the foolery, right? And like I said, Long Island Railroad getting 3% is different from Local 100 getting 3%. Their 3% on 100,000 is worth way more than 3% on 80,000 or 75,000 or 70,000, whatever it may be. So listen, I want to make this clear to you guys. I would love to be a part of a strong union organization. I would love to not have to do what I do here and focus on other things in life. Do more, go on to school, spending more time, valuable time with my family and going out more. But I feel like if we don't do the work over here at Progressive Action, nobody's going to hear it, right? The union would love for us to disappear. The MTA would love for us to disappear. That should tell you guys something. That should tell you why you should be supporting or why you should be supporting us. The union is not doing anything like this. They're not creating rallies, trying to organize, mobilize us to amplify our voices, to make alliances with the riding public, to show that we are one. We are going through these things together, that if the workers are not safe, the riders are not safe. You wouldn't think anything is wrong within our organization because our union does absolutely 0% fighting. When the last time you went to a union organized rally? I'm talking about by the upper echelon of the membership of the union administration. When have they ever thrown a rally for anything regarding us? They never did. They never did at all. Right? Because you want to know what? In a world, everything is perfect. Every single thing is perfect in a world. They don't care. The same way how I describe the MTA being in 2 Broadway and them not worrying about our facilities falling apart, the deplorable conditions and things of that nature. The same thing applies to our union administration. Now, I've spoken early in the show. I spoke about this great thing that they did at Stillwell Terminal today. You see, that's my guy right there. Dope TSS is my guy. He's been solid since he was a train operator. Shout out to him. You see the food. You see the coworkers getting together to serve the food on their lunch breaks. You see the cookies, the treats, and everything. The superintendent, Akito Staccato, who put this together with the graces of Superintendent Parker. And then, you know, putting out this dope message as to why they did it. Guess who showed up afterwards? The union president. Want to know why? Because he can't organize. Think about this, y'all. Management and we talking about a good guy. We talking about Keto Staccato. He's not like regular managers. He's the manager. If the MTA was focused on increasing employee morale, increasing employee availability. See, you don't increasing employee availability has nothing to do with anything in the contract. Increasing employee availability is increasing the morale on the property, right? So when we do things, or management do things like that, or the union decide to do things like this, or it increases the morale, right? Why are union events poorly attended, except when it's party and BS? Why? Because the morale is low. The union does absolutely nothing to truly increase the morale. It's the same thing for the MTA. By them doing this increases employee morale, which also increases employee availability, because if you create environments like this, workers will be more happy to come to work, more willing to come to work. It creates better loyalty between the employees and the company. It does a bunch of things, these little events. It means a lot. So maybe the president, Richard Davis, who knows nothing about organizing, mobilizing, and bringing people together, maybe he went to go see how he should do one. How he should do one, because every time this union administration and RTO attempted to do something like this, it wasn't looking like that. Why? Because the union, the members do not respect the people, the leadership in RTO and subways. They don't. They do not. They do not. Right? But the members respect this staccato. They respect staccato. I get calls about him in Staten Island, on a property, or on New York City Transit. That's how you get employees engaged and be happy to work here, to come to work, not them bull BS certificates y'all be giving. Hey, you made a good announcement. Whoopie do. Whoopie do. I want to give a shout out to Terrence. He that sent in a super chat. Also want to give a shout out to James Samuel. He was sending in stars on Facebook. So yeah, if y'all want to donate to the platform, you can send in super chats. You can send in stars, reports. Now, Terrence wrote with chart. I don't know what he meant by that, but so I don't know what he meant. Maybe he explained it. But I've criticized Wichard in the past, and Wichard antics be a little crazy sometimes. But one thing I can say about him is that when it comes down to the nitty gritty, he's a stand-up guy. I'm going to say that about Wichard. I'm going to say that about Wichard. When it comes to always positive, he means that for real. So salute the Wichard, man, for real. Salute the Wichard. But yeah, like what's going on here, people? What's going on here? They don't get it. Upper management don't get it. The union administration don't get it. These superintendents who aspire to be in the ivory tower at 2 Broadway, they don't do it because they know big stick management gets better recognition from upper management than doing what Staccato was doing at Stillwell today. They don't want us to have that type of relationship deep down inside. They want us to stay at odds with each other. They don't want us in the crew rooms, supervision on a break, or management on a break, coming to sit down and break bread with the workers, play a little game or two of dominoes, speak to us, check up on us. They don't want that. Every time, let me tell y'all something was crazy about New York City Transit. Every time a worker gets called into the superintendent office, ask them what they think it's for. To give accommodation or for discipline. That's the only time a lot of these managers pop out and say something to the workers, is when it has something to do with discipline. The managers do not be seen by any of the workers. And when you do see them, it's like the kiss of death. Here go this discipline right here. So I want to give a shout out once again to Akito Staccato, because I know I've spoken to him throughout the years. This is something that he was been saying he was saying that we been should have done. He was saying this for a minute. We been should be doing it. So it's glad to see him get the support from Superintendent Parker to see this through. And this should be done on a regular basis, right? In different terminals by different managers and things of that nature. And I also believe that workers should be given employee, maybe I'm going to create that. Maybe I'm going to create a management report card where I'm going to give to the workers I'm going to ask them a couple of questions. Who's your superintendent? How often do you see them? When you do see them, what's your interaction with them? What would you like different from your supervision and things of that nature? Because there needs to be a clear, and I know upper management don't want to do that because their goal is not to create a friendly atmosphere between management and workers. They want to keep that adversity going because they think it's better for business, right? But I'm going to create an employee report, a management report card given to employees, have them fill it out and ask them simple questions that you will expect for them to know regarding the leadership on the property. That's a fact. That's a fact. We're going to do that sometime soon. And I'm going to start out. I'm not going to do it at Stillwell because it seems as if Miss Parker and Staccato is doing a great job over there. I'm going to do it at a random terminal, and we're going to see what's what. And I'm going to publish my findings on the internet. I'm going to send them to Richard Davey and Demetrius Critchlow and Herbie Lambert, and I'm going to say this is what your management is doing. Now, I'm guarantee you they're going to clip this. They're going to send it out to all the supervision, and they're going to try to get on their job. But guess what? If that's what it takes for you guys to get up off your behinds and treat us with dignity and respect and at least act like you care, then that's what it is. But I'm definitely going to make that happen. But once again, you know what? I'm not even going to touch the OJ stuff again. I do want to play the Johnny Cochran thing again. So check it out.
Last night about this case and their theory and how it didn't make any sense and how it didn't fit and how something is wrong. It occurred to me how they were going to come here and stand up here and tell you how O.J. Simpson was going to disguise himself. Was going to put on a knit cap and some dark clothes, and he was going to get in his white Bronco and this recognizable person and go over and kill his wife. That's what they want you to believe. That's how silly their argument is. And I said to myself, maybe I can demonstrate this graphically. I'm going to show you something. This is a knit cap. I'm going to put this knit cap on. Now, you've been seeing me for a year. If I put this knit cap on, who am I? I'm still Johnny Cochran with a knit cap. And if you look at O.J. Simpson over there, and he has a rather large head, O.J. Simpson in a knit cap from 2 blocks away is still O.J. Simpson. It's no disguise. It's no disguise. It makes no sense. It doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. It reminded me that there was testimony early on that Detective Lang had refused basically to pick up a knit cap inside the Brown residence. That was shown to him, I think, by some of the lawyers and one of the investigators on that date, because these are fairly common. But they don't really disguise anybody who's noticeable, do they? And although I was the guinea pig here this afternoon, if you were to put a knit cap on, how's that going to disguise you? We've been together. I'd know your face anywhere now, and you'd know mine. And the people in Brentwood, in West Los Angeles, would know O.J. Simpson. They know his car. They know him. That's where he lives. Even the prosecutors say he's so famous that he can't go anywhere where he wouldn't be recognized.
That was genius by Johnny Cochran. And RP OJ, I would never forget when the verdict was announced, not guilty. I have never seen, or that probably was like one of the first times that I understood how America was so divided regarding race. You've seen all of these Caucasians wanted him convicted. You see all the black people wanted him free. And, you know, there was a lot of things happening in his case. Maybe he did do it, I don't know. But the jury said no. There was corruption in his case via Mark Furman. Mark Furman using the N-word to describe black people. Evidence collection was bad. And from then, OJ was a target for America, right? He got convicted, I think back in like 2008, 2009, somewhere around there, of allegedly stealing his own memorabilia. I mean, that was insane within itself. I think it happened in Las Vegas or somewhere in Nevada. And from that time on, he had a hard time going. But I'm interested to know, did he write a memoir, a journal? Did he have anything he was working on that really said what happened that day? Because I don't know if he did it, but I have a feeling that he knows something that he didn't say. I mean, I've seen plenty of alleged reports of his son being involved and, you know, things of that nature. But no matter what happened there, 2 people's lives were lost. Nicole Brown Simpson, rest in peace. Ronald Goldman, rest in peace. You know, and condolences to the family. I know the death of OJ rehashed the feelings and you know, things of that nature. But it's crazy out here, man. But you know, once again, thanks for tuning in. You could donate on the channels. Please subscribe to the channel. You could donate via Cash App above. You could send in stars on Facebook. You could send in super chats on YouTube. You could also join the channel for 99 cents a month. And just in case if y'all not clear, Kennedy 2024, we here. Catch you guys later. Peace.